this video, you're about to discover 15 secrets the wealthy use to stay invisible, while quietly dominating the money game, all while the rest of the world stays busy chasing likes and trying to look rich on Instagram. But first, when I say invisible, what does that really mean? Let me paint you a quick picture. Have you ever seen a guy in a $10 t-shirt eating a $5 sandwich, driving a 15-year-old Toyota, and thought,
"There's no way that guy's rich"?
Yeah, plot twist. He owns 4 apartment buildings, has $8 million sitting in tax-free investments, and could buy your dream car in cash. But he won't, because he knows something you don't. Meanwhile, Chad in the Gucci tracksuit flexing with a rented Lambo? Yeah, he's trying to refinance his AirPods. Welcome to the real game of wealth. The ultra-rich don't want you to know they're rich, not because they're humble, but because invisibility is the ultimate power move. And today, you're going to learn exactly why. Number 15, they buy privacy like it's gold. The ultra-rich don't wish for privacy, they buy it. Gated communities, unlisted phone numbers, trust-owned properties, private security firms. To them, privacy isn't a luxury, it's a budgeted expense. When the average person gets rich, they throw a party. When the ultra-rich get rich, they disappear. Literally. They buy properties through LLCs or blind trusts, making sure their names never appear on public records. Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, half the homes they own, their names aren't on them. The holding companies are, because they don't need the world knowing they live in a $30 million mansion. They need the IRS not knowing where to knock. Stealth wealth mindset. If people know where I sleep, they know where to sue me. Number 14, they control everything without owning anything. Let me ask you something. If you don't own anything, can anyone take anything from you? That's the philosophy of the ultra-rich. They lock their assets inside shell companies, family trusts, and offshore accounts. So on paper, they're broke, but in reality, they're untouchable. Their yacht, owned by an LLC in the Cayman Islands. Their art collection, held by a trust in Delaware. That $40 million Manhattan penthouse technically belongs to Blue Rock Holdings, which is probably owned by their lawyer's cousin's dog. This is Asset Protection 101. Not to be shady, but to be shielded. It's not just about hiding from lawsuits, it's about control without exposure. Here's a real billionaire quote. Own nothing, control everything. And no, they're not hiding in bunkers. In fact, you've probably sat next to one on a flight without even realizing it. Number 13, they stay hidden in plain sight. Alright, let's get brutally honest for a minute. Some of the wealthiest people on the planet, they fly commercial. Middle seat, no flex, no private jets, no flashy first class selfies. Why? Because private jets leave a paper trail. And attention? Attention is expensive, especially when you're trying to avoid things like lawsuits, kidnapping threats, or, taxes. Warren Buffett still drives himself to McDonald's in a 2014 Cadillac and books economy flights when needed. He's not flexing in the air, he's too busy owning the airline. Funny thing about the ultra-rich, they don't spend money to impress people. They spend it to disappear. Because once you start flexing, you become a target for leeches, scammers, lawsuits, the media, and most dangerously, the government. Number 12, they don't flex their assets on Instagram. You won't see the ultra-rich flaunting iced out watches or Gucci bags. Instead, you'll see them buying multifamily real estate in boring zip codes. Index funds nobody brags about. Farmland in the Midwest. Storage units that quietly spit cash month after month. These aren't sexy. They're not trending on TikTok, but they are quietly compounding into multi-generational wealth. They invest in things that grow cash flow and don't show. No one's robbing you for owning VTI and a bunch of parking lots. Rule of stealth wealth. If it shines, it's probably costing you money. If it's boring, it's probably printing it. Number 11, they dress poor to stay powerful. All right, picture this. You're in Starbucks. A guy in sweatpants, worn sneakers, and a plain black t-shirt walks in. You think,
Regular dude.
What you don't realize, you just saw a multi-millionaire venture capitalist funding 3 of the startups you follow on Twitter. And that's no accident. The ultra-rich know one thing. People treat you differently when they think you're broke. No one asks you for money. No one tries to sue you. No one gets suspicious. This undercover millionaire look, it's not laziness. It's camouflage. They dress down to blend in because standing out is risky, expensive, and exhausting. Mark Zuckerberg wears the same gray shirt every day, not because he can't afford Gucci, but because he's busy running the matrix. Wealth whispers, ego screams. Number 10, they teach their kids to hustle before they inherit. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, and now's the perfect time. Here's something wild. Some ultra wealthy parents tell their kids they're middle class on purpose. That $100 million trust fund? Not discussed. The beach house? Just a rental. The family office? Just dad's weird job. Why? Because once a kid feels rich, they stop trying. Warren Buffett famously said he wants to give his kids enough to do anything, but not enough to do nothing. Translation? Don't raise entitled heirs, raise dangerous thinkers. So these parents send their kids to public school, make them get part-time jobs, and teach them how to earn money before they ever learn how to inherit it. In fact, many ultra-wealthy families use something called a silent trust. The kid doesn't even know they're rich until they hit a certain age, usually 30 or older, just to make sure they build some grit first. Ultra-rich parenting motto, earn it like you're broke, inherit it like a ninja. Number 9, they wrap their wealth in legal armor. Here's the thing. The ultra-rich aren't stuffing cash in mattresses or hiding it in Swiss vaults. They're wrapping it in invisibility cloaks called legal entities. Want to avoid estate taxes? Put your assets in a generation-skipping trust? Want to reduce income taxes? Route money through a pass-through S corporation. Want to delay taxes? Maybe forever? Use a 1031 exchange on real estate. They don't just earn money, they hide it inside structures that protect it. It's not shady, it's strategic, and they've got entire teams of attorneys and CPAs building these wealth bunkers. Here's the kicker. You could make $10 million in a business and pay 40% in taxes, or make the same $10 million through these structures and pay zero legally. The rich don't evade taxes, they avoid them with precision and paperwork. Number 8, they borrow money instead of making it. All right, this one's gonna break your brain. And maybe the IRS is too. Most ultra wealthy people, they don't spend their money, they borrow against it. Let's say you own $10 million in stocks or real estate. Instead of selling and triggering capital gains tax, you walk into a private bank and say,
Hey, I'll take a $3 million loan against my assets. Low interest, no taxes. Thanks.
and boom, you've got millions in tax-free spending power. This is called buy, borrow, die. One of the most powerful stealth wealth tactics in the game. Buy assets that appreciate, borrow against them instead of selling, die and pass them to heirs with a stepped up tax basis. Avoiding taxes entirely. This is why billionaires pay less tax than teachers. They don't work for money, they use money as a shield. Number 7, they swipe with cards you've never heard of. Imagine this. You walk into a luxury store, swipe a black card with no name, no numbers, and no limit, and walk out with $50,000 worth of stuff. Yeah, that actually exists. It's called a JP Morgan Reserve card, or for the ultra elite, a white label private banking card. These cards don't even look like credit cards. They're metal, they're unmarked, they're invite only, and they don't show up on credit reports. Why? Because privacy is power. These cards unlock concierge access, private jets, ultra insurance, fraud protection, exclusive investment deals, and leave zero public trace. No paper trail, no credit limits, and no questions asked. If the average millionaire has a platinum American Express, the real boss carries a card that doesn't even look like a card. Number 6, they play for power, not for show. The ultra rich could flex, they could buy the yacht, the mansion, the private island with the volcano jacuzzi, but they know something most people don't. Status games are for people still trying to prove something. Wealth games? Those are for people who already know. You won't find them at the club making it rain, you'll find them at a private dinner with 5 billionaires and 0 Instagram stories. Their real flex, peace of mind, asset protection, total control, and the freedom to walk into any room and not care who's watching. Because in their world, the loudest person is usually the poorest, and the ultimate flex, silence. The rich don't need to be seen. They just need to win. Number 5, they hide behind boring job titles. Here's a fun one. Ask an ultra wealthy person what they do, and you'll hear stuff like,
Oh, I'm in consulting. I help with operations. Just some boring real estate stuff.
but what they really mean is, I own a private equity firm that just acquired 5 companies this year. Or I quietly control $300 million in cash flowing assets while pretending I still need coffee breaks. This isn't modesty, it's intentional misdirection, because the second people find out you're rich, everything changes. Suddenly it's,
can you invest in my startup? Will you mentor me? Let me sue you for emotional damages because you looked at me weird.
so they stay low key. If someone tells you they just do some consulting and they're getting dropped off in a chauffeur SUV, you're talking to a stealth millionaire. Number 4, they collect passports like power moves. This one's straight out of a spy movie: dual citizenship, residency in tax-free havens, strategic passports. Why? Because one government can't control you if you belong to 3. The ultra-rich hold a US passport for access, a St. Kitts and Nevis passport for tax advantages, a Portuguese golden visa, just in case. They use citizenship by investment programs to move like financial ghosts. If taxes spike in one country, they bounce. If a lawsuit brews, they shift operations. They're not just global citizens, they're sovereign operators in a system most people don't even know exists. Fun fact, the ultra-wealthy don't leave countries. They outgrow them. Number 3, they control influence through ghost companies. Let me introduce you to a powerful concept: ghost money. It's when the ultra-rich fund companies buy assets or donate to causes, all through shell companies that never show their name. They might buy land through a green energy fund, control media companies through a nonprofit trust, influence political decisions with anonymous donations from something like ABC Strategies LLC. They don't want credit, they want control. Because influence without exposure, that's the richest game of all. And when the world reacts to a trend, a headline, or a billion-dollar deal, they're sitting quietly in the background, watching their chessboard light up. Ghost wealth isn't about hiding money, it's about hiding power. Number 2, they build human firewalls around themselves. Now this one's almost creepy. The ultra-rich intentionally surround themselves with layers of unimportant people. Assistants, managers, assistants to managers, lawyers, accountants, drivers, each acting like a human firewall between them and the outside world. You'll never get their email. You'll never get their phone number. Sometimes, even their family needs to go through someone else. Why? Because it's hard to attack someone you can't reach, and it's even harder to reach someone who doesn't show up on the radar. You want to sue them? You're suing their shell company. You want to find them? You're meeting their lawyer's assistant's driver's cousin. They're invisible, by design. Not because they're paranoid, but because they're free. They don't just build wealth, they build firewalls of anonymity around it. Number 1, they redefine wealth on their own terms. The average person thinks being rich means Lambos, mansions, Rolex watches, private jets, flashy vacations on a yacht with 20 people and a drone. But the ultra-rich know that's poverty in disguise. Emotional poverty, spiritual poverty, financial vulnerability. Because all those things, they're just liabilities in disguise. Real wealth, waking up with no alarm clock, having your time completely free, knowing your family is protected even if you disappear tomorrow, living with peace, options, and zero stress over money. They've opted out of the game the rest of the world is stuck in. No flexing, no performing, no need to prove anything to anyone. They're not on the Forbes list. They're not even on your radar. And that's exactly the point. The richest person in the room might be wearing New Balance sneakers and budgeting his coffee, because stealth wealth isn't about hiding. It's about winning, so quietly. The world doesn't even know you're playing. Bonus point: the stealth wealth mindset. Now you know the truth. The ultra-rich aren't playing the same game as everyone else. While most people are out there screaming for attention, they're building legacy, they're buying control, and they're sleeping in peace, while others are posting flexes they can't afford. So if you're serious about building real wealth, start thinking like them. Stay low, move smart, don't just grow your money, protect it. Don't just chase success, opt out of the noise. And most importantly, make power moves that don't need applause. If this video opened your eyes, comment stealth wealth if you're ready to take it to the next level. But if you're watching this, you probably aren't at that level of wealth yet. But don't worry, I got you. Learn how to retire in 10 years, starting with $0. Click here to watch now.